Now let's delve deeper into Nigerian politics and the legalese now, because Nigeria finally has an undisputed president, with Bola Ahmed Tinubu affirmed by the Supreme Court as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. This story has of course been rumbling along since February and has caused quite a lot of tension and heated debate across Nigeria. It was all sparked by allegations of serious irregularities which the two main opposition candidates, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, said had marred the election. And even after the election petitions court had upheld Mr. Tinubu's victory last month, the two opposition candidates went on appeal, insisting that Nigeria's highest court should quash the judgment. But today, the Supreme Court dismissed both challenges, putting an end to the standoff.
What transpired in Nigeria since February 25th presidential election is a clear testament that our institutions are not working and that we may be sliding towards dictatorship. It is very clear that the executive and the judiciary have all been hijacked. We may be disappointed and dismayed by the outcome of the exercise, but we have chosen to trudge on and to remain optimistic of what the future holds for the nation. We have it on very good authority that the government have marked some Labour Party key leaders, myself especially, and our leader, our presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi in particular, for vilification in order to suppress the party, suffocate our team, and our goal of a new Nigeria. We therefore call on all our members and the obedient family to be vigilant and brace up for the challenges ahead.
Well, for his reaction and analysis, I'm joined now in the studio by the constitutional lawyer, Dr. Barrister Akin Ogunsakin. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And just coming off the back of the Labour Party speaking there, I mean, is it your sense that the institution of the judiciary is not working based on today's judgments? Is that a takeaway that you might have?
Thank you very much. To me, that is fallacy. The judiciary, they have done impeccably well. They have not only demonstrated that the sanctity of Nigerian democracy, that they can uphold it, they can defend it, and they indeed have worked for it through this judgment. We have to actually commend them and not to condemn them. You see, the judiciary, they are the last hope of the commoners. Whatever they do, people read meanings to it. Of course, judgment cannot favor all the parties. It's not possible anywhere in the world. You see that it favors you, it doesn't favor the others. But either you like it or not, the judgment must favor one person.
But you're a lawyer, you're a constitutional lawyer. I mean, what's your assessment of the reasoning of the court in reaching the decisions it did?
The court, they have actually strayed all the prayers. Let me give kudos to the presidential election petitions that actually tried the matter, the first instance. What they did, they have done, in fact, a laudable job. It is unprecedented in the history of election matter in Nigeria for a court to give judgment for almost 12 hours. 12 hours. They have attended to almost every prayers sought by the parties.
And I presume you followed it.
Yes, I followed them.
Right. Well, Kenneth Okonkwo, who was here previously, was making the point that the issue of forfeiture of the $400 and something thousand never came up.
The truth of the matter is that all the matters were attended to. There's no issue they raised that the court did not attend to. No issue. Where he said he didn't see it, I'm afraid. But the truth of the matter is that the issue of $400 and something dollars, that matter has been put to rest. Why? Because in the first instance, the president was not even tried at all.
Yeah, but the issue was raised, it was part of the appeal.
Yes.
And you would think that the Supreme Court would go issue by issue and address every single issue, and they failed to address that one. According to them. I don't have, incontrovertible evidence, because I didn't listen to the entire 12 hours.
The truth of the matter is that I've not read the judgment, but the truth of the matter is that I'm sure they have attended to all the issues raised.
Right.
All the issues raised were attended to.
But were you struck by the other point that my previous guest raised,
Yes.
that the court were very clear in saying that not uploading the results of the election electronically reduced the confidence of Nigerians
I didn't hear that.
in the process?
I didn't hear
Well,
that.
they did say that.
I didn't hear that. If they have said that, of course, it could be an obiter did all. Just the measure is along the line. It's not the ratio. The ratios are those prayers, the grounds of appeal raised before the court, and those grounds of appeal have been attended to. The Supreme Court did not leave anyone unattended
Right.
to.
What about your assessment, as a lawyer yourself, of the quality of the arguments and the quality of the weight of the evidence submitted by the opposition? How do you assess that?
Yes, my assessment of that is that the lawyer, they have done their best, but I have to tell you, their best is not enough. You see, it is a principle of law that he who assert must prove. Proving, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And what is it? Beyond reasonable doubt means you have to convince the judges. Get them convinced about what you are saying. If they are not convinced, you have not proved beyond reasonable doubt. Now, you said you have point of ground of appeal. You came to Supreme Court. Don't forget that the lower court, which is the court of first instance, they have ruled on almost all those issues. You say you are not satisfied. Like, let us see the issue of 25% in federal capital, for instance. The Supreme Court said this matter has been laid to rest. That the lower court have ruled on this. You don't need to bother them about it, that they are not ready to attend to issue like this again. And that they have some other issue to attend to, not this one that, in fact, they agree in total with the lower court. That you cannot, because that the candidate doesn't score 25% in FCT and disqualify and say he didn't win an election. There are other very, very important conditions with which a candidate must fulfill before he can be declared a winner. And looking side by side, you will discover that almost all those conditions were fulfilled by the candidate.
Right. But are there any outstanding issues for you as a constitutional lawyer?
Yes, sir.
And presumably as an objective constitutional lawyer, are there any outstanding issues for you that this judgment failed to resolve?
Absolutely no. I didn't see anyone.
So it ticked all the boxes.
In fact, they have done incredibly well.
Right.
Honestly, they have done incredibly well.
Right. So clearly the door is now firmly closed on the 2023 presidential election, and the lid is tightly shut.
It has been laid to rest permanently.
That's it.
Yes.
There is no other way to get around it.
No other way to it, unless they appeal to Baba God in heaven.
Right.
Well,
that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Because
he often doesn't reply.
But as far as this one is concerned in Nigerian law, it lays to rest.
But beyond that, what we saw in court today, as you correctly pointed out, that's the end of the line.
Yes, sir.
And the judgment has been delivered. But these last few months haven't reflected well on Nigerian politics, have they?
Yes. Yes, you are very correct about that. We have to a little bit look at where we are coming from before we can just do an empirical assessment of what is happening or what has happened in the last 3 months. You will agree with me that the economy of Nigeria is in shambles. There's no doubt about that. For the past 16 years, even before the government was handed over to the former President Buhari, the country has not been doing well, honestly. Under President Jonathan, the former President Jonathan. So, little doubt that when President Bola Tinubu took over from President Buhari, we didn't expect, I'm not expecting any new thing to happen that will immediately change things in Nigeria. No, it takes time. We just have to calm down and allow them to do the needful. We cannot hurriedly expect them to change things in Nigeria as if they are magicians.
No, I understand that. But coming off the back of an election, a hotly contested election,
Yes,
where we saw politicians on all sides, I mean, behaving, really badly during the elections. I mean, many of them doing completely untoward things.
Yes.
That screams to the Nigerian people that most of them are incapable of governing.
Yes, that is equally very correct, because you see, in Nigeria, what I realize is that we at times most of our politicians, they don't have that mind of saying, I've won, let's embrace others.
You think President Tinubu is going to do that?
He's doing that. He said it. He's doing that, honestly. He's doing that. You see, like what he said today. He said, the shenanigans is over. The distractions are over. That the only thing that is left now is that let us all sit down together and move the nation forward. He said it. So, and similarly, if you have been listening to him from time, you will realize that Tinubu has been hammering that this country must move forward. That you can join the government by chipping in one or two things that you know that at least it will make sense or to make the nation progress.
Yeah,
he has been saying that.
But obviously you also need a strong opposition.
That is it.
To put the fire to the feet of the government.
Good of you. So if any one of them is doing that, of course, the President Tinubu will embrace it and see it as a way forward. I'm sure he's a complete Democrat who believes that anybody can walk. The moment he can walk, he will embrace him. Then I ask him to let's reason together and walk it together.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much indeed for your contribution and for coming in this evening.
Thank you,
Dr. Barrister Akin Ogunsakin is a constitutional lawyer. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.